Well, it's getting more international. When you look at our investments in France last year, I think we were still at approximately 70% for the French investors towards 30% for international investors. This year is slightly better so far, and I think we're going to get better until the end of the year, because we see some very, very new sources of capital which have been able to secure deals for the last weeks, let's say. I don't know whether you saw a big deal, a new Korean fund which hadn't been active before here in France has been buying a big property in the CBD in Paris. We have seen Canadian investors who haven't been able to secure capital buying a property, again, a very prime property in Paris. Then we have seen investors from Asia looking at opportunities, mostly very core opportunities. But it's very difficult for them because we have so many people and so many investors in this market who know everything very well and who can compete with the very tight calendars and time schedules that vendors sometimes impose or need in order to do the transaction. So we have very, very new people. You saw Samsung on some new properties bidding with local asset managers. Which is, by the way, the most important thing, because sometimes you don't even see where the capital comes from in the beginning. You see very well-known local asset managers or investment managers acting for those investors from abroad. But in the end, you only see it the day you sign the transaction. Because sometimes they look at very creation of value. Since even if they look at core, but they like the typical core plus, which means in very good locations, properties where you don't have to have too much refurbishment, sometimes more active letting asset management, things like that. But anyway, with some opportunity to create more value. And also you have those who look at prime. So it's very, very difficult to say what are they all looking at. I think there are investors for all kind of transactions, and we have a very busy market also on the opportunistic market. I mean, there you can see new American sources of capital looking for product in the market, and that is probably where it's more difficult due to the latest cycle that we have, which was very core and which still is quite core.